Maine is increasingly becoming the disposal site for out-of-state waste. Landfills are filling up faster than planned, recycling rates are still below the goal of 50%, and there are ongoing concerns about levels of pollution at trash incinerators and biomass plants that burn construction and demolition debris. How can the state improve its long-term strategy for waste disposal?
Recycle. Everybody should get into recycling and compost piles. Years ago, I was married and lived in Massachusetts for a period of time. And we had an oil spill in our basement and had a company come in, and they dug up our basement in Lynn, Massachusetts, and hauled it someplace in Gray. And that always just amazed me, that here in Maine, we're accepting toxic dump waste from other states. I would not accept toxic waste dumps, toxic waste from anybody here in the state of Maine, and we as Mainers would have to work to minimize the waste that we have. There's lots of things that we can do with our tires, with different things. We in our society today are disposable. Everything that is made is disposable, made to be thrown away. We should make things like they did in the old days, that was made to last, was unique. And we can do that again if we put ourselves at the task of doing it.
Thank you. Chandler Woodcock?
Thank you. We have a difficult time disposing of our own waste in this state. So here's your shock for the evening. I too would oppose bringing in construction waste to the state. And I think we need to be very aware of polluting our environment with construction waste. There's your October surprise.
Thank you very much. Barbara Merrill.
Thank you. I just want to go back briefly to the last question, and I want to make a point. When you play partisan games with the budget, you can't be surprised when the other party plays partisan games with bonding. That's why we need an independent governor in Maine. We need to cut through the partisanship because all of our agendas are being cut short with the bickering. On to the question, construction debris. I've watched buildings get knocked down. They get knocked down really fast. And you can't tell me that every thermostat and every other dangerous substance in the building was removed. And when we truck all this stuff into Maine, we ought to be concerned. That's why I voted against LD 141 last session. I was very concerned when it was taken away from the Board of Environmental Protection and rammed through the legislature. I'm a centrist. I'm proud of my moderate voting record, but you will find that I vote with a very small group of people when it comes to the environment. I support a temporary moratorium on the importation. We need to go back out to public comment and determine if there is any level that is safe to burn in the state of Maine.
Thank you very much. John Baldacci?
When I was elected, there were already 3 Maine biomass units permitted to burn wood from construction and demolition debris. This was a situation we inherited. It also is permitted in states like New York and California. California is an environmental leader as well as Maine. And what the DEP is doing now is developing more stringent and comprehensive standards to ensure that wood is clean enough to be burned. We've improved the environmental standards already on the books to make this safer than it was before my administration took office and safer than it is in other states.
Thank you very much. The next question goes first to...
Excuse me.
Oh, I'm sorry, Pat. I apologize.
That's all right. This is my favorite
Crossed
question,
off an extra name.
I sat in on the first Blue Ribbon Commission on Solid Waste meeting that they had, and I listened to John Martin say, nobody from the DEP is going to tell me what to do. That's part of our problem. That's the guy with the chainsaw in the earlier comment, though. We should not be burning out-of-state construction and demolition debris. No other state in New England does it. In Massachusetts, it's illegal to landfill the stuff. We might have the ability to burn it, but part of that $26 million deal that went down in Old Town, where we're out money and we didn't get the jobs anyway, and we just have a dump, was to pay for an upgrade to the mill so that we could burn stuff that wasn't going to be wood because we knew wood wouldn't go in there. It's bad for our planet, it's bad for our kids. The two things we value, our children and our environment, it's bad for both of them. And this Commerce Clause malarkey about out-of-state waste, we're not allowed to reject it because once it drives onto PERC or Merck's property, it becomes our waste. There's some magic thing that happens to a truck when it drives into Merck or Perk, and then it goes to drive out, it all of a sudden it's not out-of-state waste anymore, it's in-state waste. So let's fine Merck and Perk $100,000 for every truck they turn away. Let's say, okay, don't take it on if you can't burn it in your facility, and send it back where it came from, to Massachusetts or Rhode Island or Connecticut or wherever it came from. Innovation is the only way to get around the fact that there may be stupid laws that the Supreme Court gave us. I wasn't a big fan of the Dred Scott decision either. There are times that the Supreme Court's wrong, and we need to stand up for ourselves, and that's what we need. We need some leadership.
Thank you very much.